In HTML, so how we can design our form in this form. So we have to use as a input type as your text, then input type as a password, then you can use a radio button, then you can use as your list box and drop down button label. So already we discussed about when we can design a form. Another part of the HTML is very important about and frames. Frame is the backbone of your entire website design when we can use an HTML. The frames are relatively new addition to the HTML standards first introduced in Netscape Navigator 2.0. When previously when did the invention of your HTML, so that time the browser is used for to run your HTML code. So that time is using the Netscape Navigator. After that, so there is so many modification within this HTML. So many browser is portable for that. Any browser, just you write the code, so automatically execute and run your HTML code. So when using the frame in latest HTML5, so what is the objectives? Upon the completion this section, you should be able to create a frame-based page, work from the from set frame, no frame elements, use the attributes of the frame element to control the display and set the target appropriately. When we can use as your frame, so that time is very important that so your content how we can display from the left, just you can hyperlink is there and you want to display in the right side, many side you can see that there is a framing concept used, so that time just click on that right side you can open there. So many times you can see that suppose a PDF you want to open this, just you can click it left side of menu, just right side it automatically display your PDFs that is in a within Acrobat. So frame is very important when we can use in HTML. A frame page is actually made of multiple HTML page. So when we can make your website, design your page, so that time many page of your HTML. So every page is having the extension is having the .html. So there is a one HTML document that describe how to break the single browser window to multiple window pans. Each window pan is filled with an HTML document. Main important things there. So within a browser you can make a section, so that time you can use as a frame concepts. And how we can navigation from one page to another uh, page, so within we can do with a frame. For example, make a frame page with an window pan on the left and one on the right require the three HTML page as a doc1.html and doc12.html are the page that contain the contains frame.html is the page that describe the regions of the single browser window into two window pan. So this is an example. So in this example, just is a doc one HTML. This is the name of HTML page. Another dot doc dot HTML. So this is the name of doc1, doc2 is there. So you can navigate it within this. So we can within contain the two contain of your frame. You can use the within a single frame. So this is the way we can design that. We can separate, but how we can integrate within a frame. So in this case, diagrammatically we can see that frame page architecture. When there is some architecture that which is the first frame, second frame, how we can interactivity is between. So there is a frame architecture. At least you can know about that. Keyword is used. Frame set element is placed in the HTML document before the body's element. And previously you can see that when we can writing the HTML code, so that time you can write h1 h2, then you can many codes you can write that. So But when we can use a frame set, so it is mandatory you should be used before the body statement. You can specify, and there is a keyword is used as a frame set. The frame set describe the amount of screen or real estate given each window pane by dividing screen into rows and columns. When you can use a frame, so that time there is a two way we can divide it, that row screen and call screen. So there is a frame set will then contain a frame, FARME element, one per divisions of the browser window. Because there is a no body containers, frame set page cannot have background image and background color associated with them. So when we can make a frame, so that time you can give the color of the left, right, whatever you can divide entire uh, your frame, so you can make a color of the background, you can given that. So it is not mandatory that when we can given a one color, so is entire frame set can be show the entire color. So this is a very simple example how we can write a frame page with architectures. The HTML, then you can use the title frame page. Then you can as a percentage wise of frame set. Frame FRM SAT, then you can use the COLS. So when you can use HTML code is not a case sensitive. When you can write small letter, capital, there is no issue about that. Frame set, then you can use a COLS. When we can write a code in HTML, there is important that your keyword is important as same like in a COLS. So this keyword is important. Instead of I write a COLLS, so that time your browser could not be understand. So what is a COLLS? So that time whatever the reserved keyword is that you can write a proper way. So dividation as example, entire column you want to divide into 100 into 23% and 77. So you can use that one. I like the calls. Then you can write the frame SCR. So one of the page you can use as a HTML DOC1. You can write a source of data, you can use SRC, another for the 23 for the DOC1 and 77 for the DOC1.html. Then you can close as a frame set. So already we discussed architecture of the your frame. So you can write before the body statement. So in this case, I have to divide it as a 23 and 77. So I have to call as a source and DOC. This is a very simple example. But when you can raise a frame, so you can use a frame set. Then you can also use a call statement. The calls is the 23 into 70. As in this example, you can divide left hand, then you can use a source and a right. You can see that left side is a very limited size of your page and right side big size due to the reason of you can write a 77. The diagram below is a graphically view of the document described below. So this is the way when a previous program is automatically visualizing the record like this one. So just you can say with an HTML and just you can run your program, so automatically visualize this one. DOC1 I had to write some another code, it display within this frame. I have to doc2.html. This span I have to write in HTML code some images, then you can write a form. You can these all things are visualized within a 77%, and within a 22-3% you can doc1.html can be visualized. So this is a way we can use as a your frame 1 and frame 2. So entire browser you can divide, so visualizing like this example. Frame set element create the divisions in the browser's window in a single direction. This allow you to define divisions as either rows or column. So row is determine the size of number of rectangular rows within a frame set. They are the set of the top of the display area to the bottom. So when we can divide in entire your screen as height. Previous example related you can column wise, and this is a way you can divide in a top to a bottom. It is related upper sides and below side, so you can entire screen you can divide it. Previous example, you in calls you can divide the entire web page into column wise, and this page entire your web your browser screen is divided into row wise, same like 1360 into 120 units. So this is where we can design. Calls determine the size and number of rectangular column within a frame set. They are set in left to right display, and possible value of a pixel, that is a 480 then 160. This is a unit of pixel. Percent of screen with a 77 and 75% and 25%. So frame border possible value as a 0 and 1. It is a yes and no. Setting the 0 will be create border less frame. So you want to display a frame is visualizing whatever you expected. So you can just give as a frame border equal to 1 is and a frame border equal to 0. So when need your border, you can create for the yes. If you don't want to show the border, so you can specify no. The same like 0 like 1. Border thickness of the frame, this is the attribute specified the pixel. Setting 0 will be create a borderless frame and default value is frame. So I could not be mentioned any frame border you want there, and just you can give as a 1. So automatically default value set will be the 5. So border color, this is the attributes allow the choose the color of your borders, and this attributes are rarely used. If you want to give the this is all about, and you can use as a frame attributes. With help of the frame attributes, you can use as a calls, you can use a rows, then you can use as a frame borders, and then you can specify the border color. So it is not essential, it means all are the optional. Whatever requirement of the developer or programmer, if you want to use this all attribute, it is necessary you can use, otherwise it is not required. You can use it, you can set this value is automatically, means whatever the required just you can specify, otherwise is not required you can specify. A frame, the element is defined a single frame within a frame set. There will be the frame element, each divisions created by a frame set element. This tag is followed by the attributes. SRC require the provides the URL of the page that will be displayed in the frame. Name is required frame that will allow the targeting or the HTML document work a conjunction with the target attributes as a, then area, base, and form tags. Many important things there. When we can use your HTML, one HTML doc1 dot HTML, doc2 is there. So this is a divided in a two way, left side and right side. But there is a, you should be whatever the require what size there, what color you want to, you can specify. So in this case, you have to use the specify the varies that your HTML page is saved. So you can specify within a folder. You can say the doc1.html doc1. It's okay. But if you want to some HTML file, it is a D drive, A drive. So that time you should be specified what is where is the location of that one, and the name of file and extension is important. Otherwise when within a folder you have the lot of HTML pages there, if you want is there, so just you can specify the name and .html, that name of file is required you can specify. Otherwise you have to specify where is the location of your entire location. Margin width. Option attribute a state pixel determine the horizontal space between the frame. Contain the frame borders. Then margin height. Option attribute a state in a pixel determine the vertical space between the frame. So in above what we can see that width and height. If you want to specify the margin width and specify the height, so this is way, these all are optional. The above is having the horizontal and this is the vertical space between the frame, so you can specify if you want to scroll in there, if you want to see that your page is go to the downside, many option is available, then you can use as a scroll. Otherwise your length of size of page very less there, so you could not be specified the scrolling equal to yes. Otherwise it's not required, you can write and never display the scroll bar, then you can specify as a no. It's very important. Then when we can many things, many times website you can see that if the one page is there, so if you want below the content of that, just say right side the scroll bar is there, just you can go to downside and you can see the content of that file. So this is a file, just you can specify yes, automatic scroll bar is displaying. If you want to not require that, just you can specify no. An auto browser will decide based on a frame content. If you want to just the page size below size of page, just you can specify the auto. The three option is available. Scrolling is yes, scrolling as a no, and scrolling as auto. Most of the developer just people having the design your website, so using that automatically the content is increasing, automatically your right side scroll is automatic display. No size. So no size, another attributes, this is also optional. The prevent the viewers from the resizing the frame. By default the user can stretch the frame display the selecting the frame border and moving it up and down, left and right. That's you can even for that. If you want the frame is display, if you want to give the below and up right, then you can use as a no size. From the it's a prevent from the viewers from the resizing the frame. If you want to resizing, so that time you can specify as a no size. Compound the frame divisions. In this case, a second frame set element will be inserted. A place of the frame element would be described the second row. The second frame set element will be divide the remaining screen real estate into two column. This is a nested frame set will be, then you can follow by the two frame element to describe each subsequent frame divisions is created. Just you can just whatever need, just you can divide into two, you can divide in three, you can divide in four, so automatically divide your frame. So in this compound frame division, how we can display that? So in this case, just we can use as a frame set rows equal to uh, 120, and then rest comma, then you can give as a percentage. So if you want to display the banner for that, just you can give the banner of that file and just you can close that. If you want a row and the columns, then you can specify the link the file another, the content of file, just you can specify the 120, 110 and rest of the regarding all. Just if you want to division, then you can use it. Otherwise simplify whatever the 2 3 is there, so you can use it. Component frame divisions, you may create the frame design combination of row and column. If you want to banner file, the content file and link file. So this is the way just we can use as 120, 120 and content of this file. So in above side the banner files, left side the link file and content file. So you may want to create a frame design with a combination of row and column. So the compound frame is very important when we can design, but at least you can aware about the where you want to display in above layer, below label and on left side. So compound frame divisions example, frame set row. So entire frame is row is divided into three way: 20%, 50% and the 25%. So entire you can divide this, and then you can use as a frame source. So you can use as a, there is no required source, so it is not display the content of image. Default is showing the blank. The column, when it can divide 25%, rest of the 75% automatic display. Rest of the screen is having the blank, and a frame set, just I close this. Another frame SCR I have to use that, and then after I close this. The frame set I have to use as how many times? The above one frame set, another, and it needs that you should be close that. So this is the way we can close that. So this is an example you can visualizing. And previous example, if you want to divide is the your frames. So in this example, what we can say that 25% 50. I could not use the what is the name of file, just I want to open there. The how many divided, what we can say that 25, 50 and 25. So this is the way we divide this. Another way what we can divide the second column wise I divide, is that column divide is 20% respect the 75. The 75, this is the 75. This is the 25. So you can divide an entire three way you can divide your horizontal. Horizontal nothing but 25%, 50 is the middle way, and last end is the 25. You can see that 25 is above and below 25, and rest of the 50%. And 50% once again I have to divide into two. Is the 25%, rest of the 75%. This is the 75%. So this is the way we can divide this. So another example, just you can see that this is the frame. Just I divide a frame set rows, row wise divide there. You can see that is the entire column I have to divide this. So this is the way we can discuss about and how we can use as a frame. So how we can use a frame set. There is a columns. I use a rows. I have to write a scroll. Yes, no. Then you can auto. So when we can start the programming, writing the code, so you can very well understand the writing this your HTML code through the your HTML programming. Thank you so much.